Welcome back to another episode of Live with Zelda. And today I have a really cool guest that I've known for quite a while because I use her services. Today we have Christy McCarthy, and she is the owner of Interiors Revitalized. So she is a home stager. So welcome, Christy. Thank you for coming. I have to admit that Christy also has her own podcast. Yes,
I've been here before, so
she's been here before. So yay, this is great. So anyway, I'm going to jump right in. She is she's got her degree, or she's at least, I know you're from Illinois. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from and how you got into interior design.
Okay, absolutely. So moved down here in 2006 and originally from Chicago area. Basically Illinois-Wisconsin border, so I'm almost a Packer fan. But I got my degree from a school in Illinois, a bachelor's for interior design. And when we moved down here, home staging was very new to the industry. So
when was that?
2006.
Okay.
So somebody, oddly enough, put a flyer on my door, and I'm like, what the heck is home staging? So I've always kind of loved real estate, and so it was a perfect marriage. And so started my business then, and we've been going strong ever since.
I know you have. I know that when I first started with you, it was just you. Mm-hmm. And now you have a whole staff, a whole slew of people. How many people do you have now in your staff that or do the actual staging?
So the staging, so we do a lot of vacant staging, and that of course takes many more man hours than consulting.
Well, now you're talking about trucks and truck drivers, and
we've got dudes,
the dudes with the muscles.
And then we've got two just about full-time stagers that handle all of the kind of the actual installing and fluffing of the homes.
Yep.
And then we've got Leah and Kayla on the team. And they can handle anything from, staging or consulting to actual interior design. So they're very gifted.
Do many people just do consulting and then they don't use the staging?
You know what? It depends. It really depends on what you need help with. So if you're living in your home and you're not moving anywhere, we have, full-fledged, and we've got Cindy on our team. She can actually make architectural drawings, and she's our computer gal. So if you're, renovating your kitchen or bathroom, then we bring Cindy in because that is her knowledge, and she's so good at it, very experienced. And then we do interior design. So if you're living in your home and you're going to stay there and you want to renovate it, then that's where we come in. And then if you're going to sell your home, we do staging. So if you're living in it, typically it's a consultation, and we'll walk through your home and tell you what you could or should do. And then, if you need help with selections or anything like that, we can, help give you ideas.
So you'll source it.
We'll source it. Mm-hmm. And then, my goal is always, I always joke, like, we want it to look like $1 million, but we don't want it to cost anything. So,
yeah.
Just
I say, I've got $1 million brain, but I've got a high-end beer budget.
That's right. Yeah, we want the chandelier that looks like it fell out of Pottery Barn, but we want it to, be under $100.
Yes, exactly.
So we try to be frugal, but and then of course we have the staging, the vacant staging aspect of it. So we've got a really good size inventory, and we can go in and input our own products. So if you're not living in the home, we can.
So do y'all prefer in this? So you do staging, you do consulting for people who want to remodel their homes. So that's where the interior design comes in as well. Let's kind of focus here for a moment on this staging. Do you prefer to work with homes that they're in there and they've got their own furniture and you maybe add some things, or do you prefer the vacant homes? Which one do stagers in general, I guess, even prefer? I
don't know. It's probably like a realtor. Like you I guess you typically find your own niche. Do you like buyers or sellers? But to me, there's no preference. I mean, every home needs a little help. I've probably been in one home that really I was thinking, like, what am I doing here? It just looked like it fell out of a magazine.
Oh, wow.
And that was hard. Now I was just nitpicking. I'm like, oh, there's a little corner of dirty grout, or, so it was a tricky one. But, that
doesn't happen often.
No. Every, and it's nice to, even if you've got a pretty good eye, it's always nice to have a fresh set of eyes. Just, there might be things that you might be used to that, you might not realize could be tweaked a little bit. So
I think that's probably one of the biggest things. I don't know. You tell me, when you go into a home and you're looking at it through a buyer's eye. The homeowner has been there and they're used to their things there, and is it hard to get them to look at it from that buyer's eye and to say, maybe we need to move this, or maybe this needs to go out into the garage, or how do you address that?
Delicately, because, for one, it's subjective, so you never know who the buyer is. So we do always try to make sure that we're, thinking about the typical buyer. So if we're down in St. John's, okay, they're going to have kids. And, if we've got a bucket full of toys or, something cute, then, that's acceptable. If it's, out of the beach, we can get a little bit more beachy. If, just different parts of town can, call for, maybe different buyers or, even the demographics of it. So we try to keep all of that in consideration. If it's a high-end buyer or a low-end buyer, not a low-end, but, modest buyer.
Well, it could be.
Yeah, reasonable buyer, I should say. Low-end, but we try to take all that into consideration. And then we just, again, we always try to make it look as high-end as possible. So even if it is a modest home, we still want it to have style to it. So we've been and it seems like investors nowadays are just pushing further and further out because it's harder to get inventory. So
are investors who are flipping homes, are they staging the homes as well?
Yeah, you would have thought. I personally would have thought that, with such a hot housing market that, our business would have gone down.
Yes, and I'm thinking they sell in one day. How much staging do you do? It's amazing. I think because we've always prided ourselves on having like a really good price point, that flippers all day long, they're still finding value in us in bringing furniture, and we can pay at close. It's a 1 month minimum. We've got a very modest. We can kind of stage as much of the home as is needed or that you want to spend on. I think every home needs it. Except for that one home that you discussed a minute ago.
Yeah.
That one didn't need it. But it's fact, my son and I, we wrote a book called 14 Days to Sold, and it's the different elements that you need to do to get your home sold for that top dollar. And one of the first things we tell you to do after you've cleaned and decluttered is to bring in a stager. Staging can make a world of a difference. You might have your room rearranged one way, and the stager just sees it a little bit different, and they can move things around just a way that you never thought of to open up the room even more. So,
well, in these days, especially with maybe the COVID or people are just spending. I think they're more homebodies now, so they're staying at home a little bit more, and they're definitely spending a lot more money, even on the design aspect of it. They're spending a lot more money on their homes because they're staying put. They want to enjoy it.
Yes.
Working from home is much more popular than it used to be. So
are you staging offices now as well?
Sure.
Do you stage every room in the house, or what are the rooms that you definitely want to stage for sure?
So my belief has always been, and we always try to, be budget friendly. So my opinion has always been, do the main spaces, do the really important spaces that, people are really going to spend their time in, and give them that visual of what they can do with it. So that is, kitchen and bathrooms are always there, just a few accessories. And then, like, if it has a kitchen nook, the family room or living room, if it has, that main living space, so typically a family room, master bedroom, and that's really what we consider the core.
Right.
Most people are doing everything but the guest bedrooms, and people more and more are even spending money on doing the guest bedrooms. To me, guest bedrooms are kind of like, well, I can fit a queen-size bed in here, kind of low on the priority list, but
maybe that's what they should do, is leave the other rooms alone, the kids' bedrooms that are a mess probably, and do the guest room and make it look like something from the magazine.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it gives it, actually, it makes it feel larger a lot of times. So I really push for doing a guest bedroom if it's smaller or awkward. So that way, if we put a queen-size bed in there, they can say like, oh, my son's, bed will easily fit in here, and look at all this extra space.
I think so I always remembered when I sold my home, Christy's crew came out to my house, and I had this one room that it's amazing how your eye is it's great to have another set of eyes, a fresh set of eyes, because I had this one room that had been empty I lived in that house for 32 years, and this one room, and it was a large room. I don't know if you even remember.
I remember.
You can see, it was this one large tile floor, and I never knew what to do with it. I already had a living room, and I didn't need a playroom, and your crew came in there, and they put a sofa in there and a coffee table, and it was so lovely. I started using it more and more while the house was for sale because it had a great view of my backyard, and it was a good view of the backyard, and it was so comfortable. It was like, I don't know if I want to sell my house. I bet you hear that a lot.
We get it often, and it's especially with those some floor plans are a little bit unique. If they're not the cookie cutter, well, here's the formal dining, but if they're a little unique, then you really want to show purpose, or at least function of a space. So if it's a secondary living room, or make it a home office, or if there's like a weird kind of flex space. I was just went in yesterday, and it kind of almost felt like a bedroom slash like a little extension to it. So I thought, well, let's put a day bed in here, and like a kid's put some bean bags. So if they had kids, okay, well, here's how cute is this. Throw my kids.
It's the truth. You don't even think about these things. I know that, again, when I sold my house, and it's been 3 years, there was one little nook in my living room that the carpet was torn up, and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to hide that there was no carpet. Obviously, it was there. It was concrete slab, but I didn't know what to do to make it look decent. And you came in there with I'll never forget. It was like a little rolling cart, and you put some little tchotchkes on it, and it was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that?
Well, and let's entertain in this space.
Yes,
absolutely.
Just things that you just don't think about that the stager will come up with. So I just subscribe to, no matter what your home's condition is or whatever, you need to bring in the stager. They know what they're doing, and they can look at it with fresh eyes and look at it from the buyer's point of view. So are you noticing any new trends in the industry?
I mean, it's design, so there's always trends. In the past, I would say even 8 years probably, but modern. Jacksonville wasn't modern when I first started. We were kind of like, hey, whatever fell out of Pottery Barn, but even Pottery Barn.
And that's not really. It's getting there. I can tell it contemporary. It's contemporary. Yeah, clean looks.
Kind of clean.
It's still hard to find modern in this city.
Yes.
It is.
Well, yes, especially, absolutely. Kind of more of the contemporary. But just, design overall has really kept gravitating towards that. And I think that, we keep, doing with the simplistic, not a whole lot of clutter. I think, for myself, I hate cleaning around things, so I don't want collections of anything laying around. But a bit ago, it was kind of the whole boho thing, like all the girls on the team, a little bit younger than me, maybe a few years, but they were, so into this boho, mixy-matchy pillows and everything. But I think that we might be getting away from that a bit, but it's now brought in that appreciation for having some sort of, natural elements. And everything is not, a couple of years ago, everything was white and light and bright, white cabinets, white floors, and now we're going back to having some heavy contrast. So, we might be doing dark cabinets again, and, doing some rich feelings. And I can't believe I painted my walls. We're, kind of in limbo right now, but painted the living room. We had some like kind of earthy green, almost
I hear green's in style this year. I hear green is the color. I also heard purple was a color this year.
Purple, you can do something really cool with every color. So it's just, making it work for you. But I fell over when I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I'm almost using emerald green.
Well, jewel tones are beautiful. In my opinion, I love the jewel tones. So if you're using emerald green, yay! Yes. So tell me, I know that the different stagers have different ways of pricing their services. I always used your company because I thought y'all were fair. I don't want to badmouth anybody else, but I felt like y'all did it the fair way. And I know that some companies base it on, well, how much is your house for sale for? And they base it off of that. And I'm thinking the price of the house has nothing to do with you staging the house.
Absolutely.
So hopefully I didn't just step on your toes.
Oh, no.
But I know I didn't, exactly, because you don't price it that way. So without giving numbers and all that, how do y'all price yours?
Yeah, so we thank you. We always try to be fair, but you could have a 1,200 square foot home, on the at the beach, and that's going to take a lot less furniture. So we kind of base it on the amount of rooms or the amount of furniture that we bring in, and really we start out at $375 for monthly rent for the vacant staging. We start out for that kind of core, those main spaces. We start out with $375 monthly rent, and then there's a setup fee that's equal to that. So you can get out of it for as little as $750.
That's a pretty good deal.
And things are moving so quickly. I mean,
so most of them, are they staying just for the 1 month?
A lot of them. I mean,
because it used to not be that way. I mean, the average sale was 30 days, 60 days, and so when it took a lot longer, it wasn't your home is under contract in 14 seconds.
Absolutely, but it's smart to. I mean, we've got a 1 month minimum, so it's smart to keep it in there until it gets closer to closing.
Because anything can happen.
You never know.
That's right. That's
Things
right.
can happen.
It happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the market.
Well, and then you don't want an empty house and then have to pay us to come, set back
That's
up.
right.
So, but then our consulting, we do kind of like up to 2 hours worth of help. So if it's, run around your home for an hour and then, we spend, another 45 minutes picking out, things or whatever. But up to 2 hours worth of help is $150 for consultation.
That's great.
Yeah. And our design rate is $120 per hour. So I think we're pretty.
They are very reasonable. You can take it from me. I've checked a lot of these stagers out. That's why I stick with Interiors Revitalized, because I know that their pricing is fair, and I know that they do very good work. So, I mean, I hired you for my own house.
That's right.
So that says something right there. And it got sold for what it sold 3 years ago, and now I look at it and go, ah!
Oh, you can't even
I don't look at it because it's just not right. So I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here, but if somebody was thinking about staging their home, maybe themselves, or hiring somebody, what are the questions they should be asking a stager before they hire them to decide if it's the right one?
Oh, I mean, obviously price, because it is an investment and you want to get your return investing on that. You could ask, maybe a little bit of their qualifications. Not that I'm a stickler for that, because really, if you don't have to have a bachelor's for staging, but you need to have a good eye or experience.
Good eye.
So there's that. And then I would really go with style. I would look at their portfolio, because if you look at different stagers, they all have their own style. And, I'm hopefully nobody takes offense to this, but I am anti-Joanna Gaines, like the whole farmhouse thing.
I'm not into that farmhouse thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know that. I'm the modern person.
Yeah.
And that's hard. So you want to find somebody who understands your style.
And, staging is a little bit different because you really have to listen to your house and, who your target buyer is going to be. But, I always lean more transitional. You don't want to.
I was going to say, modern. Nobody would want to, if I was selling my house today, it's not appropriate because it's too modern. I'd have to go more, I'd have to tone it down a bit and go a little bit more mainstream, traditional.
Transitional, yeah.
Transitional. That is the new word I've heard.
It is, yeah. And I love that because they might not have, somebody might walk in and they might be allergic to anything, too modern, and it might feel cold and, sterile to them.
And I've seen that. I'm not that modern. I was showing a house one day and it was all black and white, mostly white. White furniture, white cabinets, white everything. And I felt like I was in a doctor's office. It felt so cold. So, yeah.
And people really relate to that. And then if that's not
it's
what
a turn off.
there, I would want my home warm and cozy. So
yes.
You just always want to, make it appeal to all.
So, and another thing is you don't want people to, while it's been staged and it's beautiful and it's ready for a magazine, you still want people to look at the bones of the house. You're selling the house, not the furniture. So that's important, and I know y'all don't overdo it, which is really nice. So that is very good. So those are some good tips. Keep it simple. That's right. Well, Christy, are there any other tips for people when they're thinking about fixing their home up to sell that you could give them some tips on?
Oh boy, fixing floors and paint are the the biggest game changers. So. Floors are obviously much more expensive, but they make a pretty big impact. And then paint is obviously just huge. It can be a game changer in spaces. So find the right contractor. There's a lot of busy guys out there now, and some of them aren't doing great jobs. So just make sure you get somebody in your house that is.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, too much. But ask your realtor or ask your stager, if they have any referrals.
Ask for references.
Absolutely.
And call those references.
Yeah, it's hard when you're moving so quick and you're trying to just get stuff done.
Ask for pictures.
Pictures, yeah.
Ask for pictures.
Google them. See if anything pops up.
Because otherwise they're giving you Aunt Mary's house, and Aunt Mary's going to say, yeah, she does a great job.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You don't want that.
But thank gosh for Google. We've got, we can...
Yeah, Google those people.
That's right. Do they have reviews? Go to bed.
That's right. That's right. Well, Christy, with Interiors Revitalized, tell us how we can reach you if someone wants to get in touch with you about staging.
Okay, so we've got a great website. It's interiorsrevitalized.com. You can call us at 904-625-2214. You can Google the heck out of us. We're all over the place, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it, we're probably there. House.
There you go. Love House. Love that.
Me too.
I discovered them in an Apple store years ago. It was fun. So when you were waiting, when it was like a circus to go in there. So, well, that is wonderful information to know, so that I always, like I said, I believe in staging. I think if you're going to sell your home, you should absolutely invest in staging. You want to check them all out. That's great. But I absolutely think Interiors Revitalized is wonderful. They do a great job. Again, I used them for my own house, and it got my house sold for full price. Yay. And that was when you didn't get full price for the houses, okay? So that was kind of cool right back then. So this is the part of the program where I like to ask you just some personal questions, just for fun, just so people get to know a little bit about you, Christy.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is some advice that you would give yourself back in the day when you first started that you know now that you wish you had known then, maybe? Just some good advice.
I would say I'm going to have to go with, take a deep breath. When you're doing all this madness, there's so many hats to wear, you know, so many hats to wear, but, you can only work so hard, and but you got to take a breath and enjoy things.
Yes.
There's just so much going on, but
I'm trying to do better at that.
Are you? Take
some time for family.
Yeah.
And take a breath and step back. It's not always about work.
Mm-hmm. Take care of myself. Like, yes. Oh gosh, that's a novel idea.
What? So what's a talent that you don't have that you wish you had?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with, I would have to go with dancing. I wish I was a great dancer. Like, I love watching it on TV, like America's Got Talent. I always love watching the dancers, and I sometimes think if I'm at a wedding or something that I've got better skills than I actually do. It's kind of like singing in your car. Like, oh, I sound so great in my car, and then,
Oh, that's funny. You're the second person that said that on our show. Yeah, that's another person. She has it's called All Fur. It's a pet academy, and she said, I wish I could dance.
Oh, it'd be so fun. I mean, you watch people dance, and it's always so enjoyable.
Yeah. It's like, no, I don't have that talent at all. And I can't sing in the car, the shower, and I can't sing. So it's all good. So what's a fact about you that most people just don't know? A fun fact.
A fun fact. I guess maybe, I mean, if you, I think on the website it probably says this under my bio, but I think maybe the most interesting thing is I grew up on a farm. So, a lot of times, and I hate the idea that, interior designers get this, pristine, but yeah, I grew up in a
what kind of farm?
My mom was a farmer, and
I remember reading that. Yeah.
She, the family, cows, chickens.
Okay, animals.
Animals, just all sorts of. My sister raced racehorses, so I grew up with racehorses.
Wow.
And my Aunt Donnie was an interior decorator, so I kind of had both sides of it. So I always feel like I've always been kind of that. Budget friendly, but hopefully have some style behind me. But I'm hopefully making both of them proud.
So you grew up on a farm. Don't like the farm look.
No. Maybe that's what it is.
That's what it is. See, I put that together. It's like, okay, that's why she doesn't. Yeah, no.
Well, and my Aunt Donnie had her homes would always have, and she was actually she was a flipper before flipping was a thing.
Right.
She would buy a home, fix it up, but she had. Giant floral wallpaper all over the place, and the opposite of my style. Which she was very talented. She could very well put things together, but just not my thing.
That's right, not my thing. That's funny. Well, Christy, thank you so much for taking time from your day to join us today. Again, it's Interiors Revitalized. It's Christy McCarthy, and she's been a wealth of information. Get in touch with her if you want to decorate your home, remodel your home, stage your home. She's the gal for you. So if you know somebody who's thinking about buying or selling a home, hey, let's have a chat. And don't forget, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Till next time, this is Zelda with Live with Zelda.